All right, welcome. We are at the midway point of the second round, and here's where we are right now. Checking in, seeing how we did with our projections. I really haven't prepared anything. I'll just take a look here. I have a good feeling of what we got right and wrong. We're at Bob's pick right now here. I got some comments on that. We'll talk about that later, but we're at Bob's spot at the moment, which would be the 23rd pick overall in the 84 Summer Sprint Draft. We're seeing some interesting layouts here. So just take a look at this. And you'll see that here that Tyke with his Rams pick was the first one to cross over and have an offense and defensive unit all set up. For everybody else before him so far, the 5 who had a chance at a second unit all stayed defense and all picked up a rating while doing it. We'll come back to that in a sec. Let's take a look at the projections. Here's what the projections were, and here's what's happened. So we got this one right. We got this one right. St. Louis went down at 7. I think out of that, because Joe went with the 8th spot, LAADBs. KCADL, let's see. The only ones that did not go first round. And now we get a pick here. San Diego off offensive line off the board. Wow, we've got a run here officially in OL. I said right here we have a mini run. Now it feels like run, which makes me very, very glad I did not take Dan Marino, because Marino needs to be protected by an offensive line and a halfback here to unlock his power. And now he's just going to face a barrage of pass rush without, unless Kansas City lasts this long, which they're not going to. It's a pretty big break point down after KC, and that's going to be tough for Ken to deal with. To unlock Marino, he's going to be taking a bunch of sacks. At the very least, he's going to have to go halfback to protect him if he doesn't like the offensive lines, if they're just too poor at that point. But the San Diego O-line for Bob with the 23rd overall. Let's register that in. And, Bob could have gone linebacker to seal up good run. And now that's in jeopardy. Now might be looking at average. Maybe. But just the drops in offensive line are that significant. I couldn't do it. Couldn't pull the trigger. And we have another one here? No. Okay. Willie's up next. 10:30 for Willie. He poked on about an hour ago, but I don't know if he's still up now as we hit 10:30 on the East Coast. We might be done for the evening. But that's an interesting pick. Wow. You gotta expect that these quarterback guys are going to want no line. And John now has to feel good that he can at least get Kansas City. I'm kind of surprised Tyke didn't take San Diego. Went with the running of the Rams instead of getting the strong pass block. San Diego. Interesting. I mean, this is the fear. This was the fear of taking Marino. Right toward the top. For me was, what if you get an offensive line run? Good luck. How are you going to unlock them? And even if you got him at 7th at this point, you're looking at the 5th OL, which is a big drop. There's big break points inside the OL. All these guys. And what are you looking at now? Let's take a quick look. So now we've got the Rams gone. And now we've got San Diego gone. So in terms of pass block, the best one is Kansas City. After that, it's Dallas, then Green Bay. And that's not looking at left guard, right guard stuff. That's just looking, there's a lot of 3-4s out there. That is just looking at pure numbers. But let's take a look at these guys. Let's compare Dallas and Kansas City. And that's some mediocre line play right there for Dallas. San Diego was a pretty big step up. Kansas City, there you see, you get 2 7s. Which is a nice boost. And then Green Bay below that. Oof, it's getting thin. It is getting thin. Which for somebody like me increases the value of the flat pass quarterbacks. Right? So if you don't have a quarterback yet and you don't have an offensive line, then you're looking more toward the flat pass guys. Good right runner, maybe go 3 wide. Right? Neutralize that pass rush. Interesting. Let's see if Willie's on. Looks like Willie's on. So we might be getting a pick here, ladies and gentlemen, from Willie. Well, let's just take a look at that pick while we're right here. If you're Willie and you have the offensive line, you've got no halfback groups taken so far. You could jump there, but you can also get your quarterback. Up ahead of you, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys who do not have quarterback. So are all of us going to get a quarterback before he turns? Probably. Who is the 5th best out there right now? Who are you locked into? If you're Willie at number 5, and this is updated, you're locked into Oliver Luck out of Houston. Maybe you get Theismann, who's 4. Barkowski is 6. Barkowski's probably going to go ahead of where I have him ranked. Now, Barkowski has fumble problems up the yin yang. He's got pick problems all the way through. So, But nice flat pass. That flat pass is going to get picked a couple times, but nice. Look at that. There's 3 columns of goodness. Barkowski's probably going way ahead of my rankings here. So if you want to stick Barkowski in there, you got Barkowski, Luck, Theismann, McMahon, Sims, Eason. You could take a chance. A chance. You don't have to go quarterback here. So you got the number 1 guys at 5.67 expected yards versus 4.87. That's your band. So in terms of break points, you see we've got a pretty big break point here. 4 versus 5, I guess. Is that what that is? That's 5 versus 4. So if you step down to 5, you're getting, a pretty big drop, but I don't know if that's going to matter to anybody. So yeah, you can really doesn't need to go quarterback here. Now, once you get past those guys, it gets a little bit more troublesome. As you get down to, because Moon is wrapped in with Luck, so you're down to, let me just take Moon out of these rankings here. Where's Moon? Let's get Moon out. Then you're down to 7 guy is Elway. 8 is Danielson. All right. So let's take a quick look at those guys. So who's going to be left maybe after this turn? There's Danielson. Not ideal. Here's Elway. We'll take a look at Kubiak while we're here too. Elway looks a little bit rough, especially if you don't have an offensive line. Kubiak, help with flat pass? Yeah. Sure does. As we see Jackson Holiday to double out in Anaheim. So pretty big drop off, but Willie doesn't have to worry about it. So if you're Willie, you can go halfback, okay? Which would be, to me, would be Chicago or Green Bay. Or you can start working on your defense, right? And if you were to start working on your defense, you see 4 DBs are gone. Nobody has DBs ahead of you except Joe and Anthony. So you got 1, 2, that's me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DBs could be off the board. That's some severe damage, okay? Once you get past, so you see he's vulnerable at DBs. Once you get past the first 7, then you're pretty much into average territory no matter what you do, pretty much. So DBs is an option here. If you like Lawrence Taylor, you like the Green Bay linebackers, they're an option here. If you want Tampa 3-4, if you want out of a run rating, not pass rush on the D line, you can go there. You can go to the Washington 4-3 defensive line. That's a possibility. Willie likes to go tight end early. If you want to go grab Ozzie Newsome, I wouldn't recommend it here. A little too early. What you get with Newsome is just beautiful. From flat and short and long, as the Panthers beat the Leafs in overtime. Keep that series interesting. And then you can pick up Biner. We talked about his pretty massive fumbles, though. Okay. I'm going to do nice work for you. Guessed wrong. Nothing really guessed right except a short gain. Brings you a nice 5 blocking, though, and also can go deep. He brings you stuff. It's a nice combo. Nice combo. But the thing about Biner and those fumbles, that's real. That's a real concern for me. Take a look at Biner. He's ranked right there pretty highly by Strat, but boom, 4.17%. Billy Sims is out there, but 4.62. So somebody who doesn't care that much about fumbles can easily pull the trigger for one of these guys. I mean, look at that. Me, I'm partial to Chicago, Green Bay, then even the Jets ahead of any of them. Just a little pass block there from Freeman. Better fumble. Freeman right there at a 1.75% fumble. But the thing about, of course, the Cleveland group is you come back and you get a halfback if you want, whenever later on, to supplement Biner in his fumble. Late game, you don't run a Biner. That simple. So, I mean, that would be a reason to go with Cleveland fullbacks there if you wanted to. But that's, I don't want to dwell too much on it because I think Willie, since he doesn't have to go quarterback, can go, I wouldn't go receiver here, but he can go to any of the defensive areas if he wants to pick up some pass rush. Go get it. Best LBDL out there. You want to stay in the game for linebackers. I'm sure you want to stay in the game for good pass. It's possible still. Go look at one of the DBs. So let's just take a quick look at that for Willie here at this spot. Easier in the 4-3. If you're going to go DB right now, you've got Denver sitting there. That's 20. And you're going to get yourself a good pass defense. You can go Dallas and get yourself a good pass defense. Guaranteed, locked in. So, that may be the value play. All right, let's go back to the projections. So, first round, yes. First round, yes. First round, yes. First round, no. If people are not valuing Peyton like I value him, and that's probably because they look at the card and they're not thrilled. And yeah, I kind of get it. Look at the linebacker off tackle, but this end run column is real. You can run this all day. He's got 33 carries a game, and you can go around the end all day long if you want to. And there's no problem going linebacker off tackle if you feel like it a bit on them, but you have no fear here on this end run. +4, +5, +3 sprinkled in. Yes, right. I mean, that's in the heart of the card. And wrong can do some real damage. And that's not the story for Peyton. The reason Peyton is the number one back is because of this and because of that. The only 7 in the backfield in the entire set. When you're picking up a pretty key offensive lineman in what's become that 7's becoming more and more valuable by the pick. So, but he is not gone yet. Out there. Dickerson gone, not gone. Green Bay, gone, not gone. Not gone here in the second round. So, Chicago, we got, 3 wrong in the first round in terms of were they selected or not. So, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Easily gone now. So, you go back to real life here. Easily went right here. So all these guys in here had a chance to play with Easley, and John may have been doing it. And you see the comment here. Is he looking to pair with Easley because he took the Green Bay group? I'm pretty sure they have a 3-strong safety, so Easley could have slid in there, and he could have gone back with the Easley if he was available, but did not have enough time here. Not a quick enough turn to take advantage of that. The only way you're going to get that is if you're Larry, and he chose not to go that route. Interesting Miami went so early. I think it's been, at this point, justified with the 3 offensive lines going around the turn for Dennis. Earlier than I thought. Yeah, I had it as a late one. But they've gone, so, I think that's a justified pick. Willie backed it up with the San Francisco line. Surprised me. That one certainly surprised me. It's one of those that I did not get correct. It's justified, though. I mean, again, also justified by these picks. So at this point, he'd be sitting on the, sit on the KCO line. It's not that big of a drop. So, maybe that one's not as justified. Miami, given their big break point between even these two, they're not neck and neck. Chicago DL, I mean, not my favorite DL, but I'm guessing that the dent being able to move is the reason Bob did it. Tyke, I thought great value pick here with the Pittsburgh linebackers. But there's really good value for John, who picked a QB that was better than 2 that went ahead of him. And then especially in this offensive line world, I mean, you heard it in the first show, and you heard a lot in this show, that the concern about the quarterbacks early is would you have an offensive line to work with him? And that Lomax gives you the offset of having the best flat pass among this group. So he can work with a bad offensive line a bit better than them. So and he has the third best expected yards. I mean, just a smidge behind Fouts. So he makes the most sense to me strategically, and he got him at 7. Green Bay DBs, fine. I was able to get good was John. That's a traditional late round move. It makes sense, right? To sort of playing to not sure about Green Bay over a couple of the others, but still worked out to get good. And it's a traditional late round double up pairing. Same thing with Butch, except he went run. Dennis the same. And who ended up with better pass rush between the two? I think Butch edges him out in pure pass rush. Is that right? Yeah, edges him out. 71 to 63 all in. But in neck and neck, the asterisks and stuff can change that. So Brian, Cleveland linebackers, so he went run and picked up a lot of pass rush with Philly. Will we see some 5-2 out of Bryant with all those defensive linemen from Philly? We could, and then you saw the move to pass. But, this defensive run that we had, right, which was just insane. Starting here, we had 10 picks in a row that went D. So, very interesting. So, obviously, very few exactly correct. Very few exactas on the predictions. But generally, things went, guys who we saw going in the first went in the first, pretty much around where we thought they would, more or less. A couple surprises mixed in. Now we're looking ahead here with Willie going anywhere he wants to go. If Willie passes on quarterback, then Dennis will pass on quarterback, and he'll go someplace else where he could go. So if Willie passes, the only place Dennis won't go is wherever Willie went, most likely, as he can pick up a better group elsewhere. John, Nicholas, and Toby all have to be thinking about offensive line. I assume John's going to go KC offensive line. Nicholas, at that point, with KC gone, could you go Dallas, or do you pick up a back instead to protect your passing game? I'm guessing after KC, you start thinking about the back. And you're going to see back here to protect your quarterback. That's the only way you're going to be able to protect your quarterback at that point, is to get a running game and get some run calls, force the issue. Greg with Dickerson. Dickerson, you have the ability to work on defense or go get your quarterback. Joe, it looks like Joe's got a good shot at excellent here. I don't think linebackers are going to go. They could. Willie could go linebacker. Others could surprise us with linebackers. It's in the cards. You got Taylor out there. You got Green Bay out there. You got, those are your top two. You got others, the Rams. And Joe with the Rams, who are unlikely to be taken because of the pass rush. With the Rams, he can get excellent defense. So you would kind of pencil in the Ram linebackers here. If any others go, then that's who Joe would take. If those don't go, then Joe could get an LT or somebody to get his excellent D and a nice pass rush. Then Ken, I'm guessing running game. And then for me, it's going to be the best of what's out there, whatever that is. I could easily go linebacker, D-line, halfback, fullback. All that's in the cards. Offensive line. If people give up on O-lines here, then all of a sudden it might be, if KC's there, it'd be hard to pass up on KC at that point. I doubt KC makes it that far. You got all these. One of these guys is going to take KC. Let's just go one more look into the offensive lines here and what's left. Your fourth pass block. So you got 3 and 3 tied here. Green Bay. So these two, Denver and Green Bay, both 21s. You get a 7 out there, but your left guard's a 2 versus a left guard of 3. Just a bit more balanced with Green Bay. But a 7 is a nice pickup and a big boost. Not particularly compelling. Good run blocking from Denver, though. I mean, okay run blocking, so they're good. Okay, see the one I'm touting here, you get that left guard 7. Okay, you have weaknesses elsewhere. You're going to have weaknesses at this point. No doubt. Not much in terms of run block. But you get 2 7s, including a left guard. All right, we'll leave it there for now. We'll check back with you hopefully a little later in the draft, I would guess. Until then, everybody, we will see you on another broadcast perhaps soon.
Big opening for Tony Dorsett. Look out, he's got great speed. 99 yards and a half. Dorsett down the sideline. Stays in bounds. Can you believe that?